The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Oh my God, are we?
You're adorable.
Are we already
haven't told you
boring
you're adorable?
you?
It's the dimples.
Are we already boring you,
Welcome
honey?
and thanks for joining us on the Real Estate House Party. Back to your dimples. Very nice.
Yeah.
The
Lets me
blue
get away
really,
with a lot.
The blue really brings out
Pops
your
my
eyes,
eyes.
too.
Yes, it
Pops
does.
your eyes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yep.
Did you know that? Do you have like a color coordinator?
My wife.
Does she?
Yeah. This is how I know I'm on the right track.
No, like they say you're like a spring person or
yeah,
autumn person.
my wife tells me what colors look good. But this is how I know I'm fit to go out the house. If she doesn't say, "Are you going out looking like that?" I know I'm okay.
Oh, who did I hear that from a couple weeks ago?
Me?
I was a little disrupted.
Yeah.
Disheveled.
Oh, I said, do you look at yourself in the mirror when
Yeah.
you come to work?
You know, I used to do a whole bit about that too. People go, you know, my wife goes, "Are you going to go out looking like that?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Why?" I go, "Because this is what I look like." And I go, "Besides, I don't see me. I look out. You know what I mean? The most I've ever see is my
Yeah, and they
right.
look pretty
Right,
good.
right. And she goes,
look
"Well,
good."
other people have to look at you." I go, "Well, that's their problem."
Oh my God.
Do you ever use his lines at all?
No, because
I have to use one coming up.
let's hear it.
Can I use one of your lines? You let
Sure,
me know.
you go right
Because this has
ahead.
actually happened. So I was doing. There's a broker who wants me to come because he brings all his
And do
clients.
Tony V's skit.
No, he did. But listen, so he brings me there. He always wants a testimonial about himself.
Oh yeah, sure.
In front of all his clients to
Oh,
say
yeah.
what a wonderful person he is. So he brings me and his favorite banker.
Right.
So the banker gets up there and starts talking about how wonderful this agent is and going on and on. So, and I'm just kind of eating away, listen to this. And it's, it's kind of.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets really into it. And I start pretending I'm sobbing because it's so.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets to the
It's
Tony
moving.
V. So I'm pretending I'm sobbing, right? And now I was eating at the same time. I started choking, really choking. So I'm choking. No, your dream came true.
Someday this office will all be mine.
I don't want it.
So I'm choking. So and they was laughing now. They think I'm really
Yeah,
pretending.
yeah.
I'm really into
But
the
you're
skit.
actually choking.
I'm really
Right.
choking. They think I'm into the skit, like pretending this guy was really.
you're crying and
I'm like. So next year I'm gonna have to start the show by saying, "Listen, if any time during the show it looks like I'm choking,
I am.
so you don't mind if I use
No,
that
you go right ahead.
because it really did happen."
Right.
So Tony, which reminds me, one time, I don't know where we were,
Yeah.
running a road race or something, and he goes, and he doesn't have an indoor voice. He goes,
Look, you're being polite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
saying that.
Yes, you're
She's
both-
the one who this producer has to turn her mic down.
Yeah.
And had to
Maybe
get special
Sure.
headphones for her.
Sure, we have to have a monkey with long arms to keep the mic away. Sure.
Only one person on that stage in a blue shirt's made my ears bleed twice. So that's, it's Kathy. It's all Kathy.
so he goes like this. He goes, if I do this,
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
And
Right.
everyone turns around and went hysterical laughing.
Did I say Tony V?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Don Gavin told me you don't have to give the person's name because I used to always say, Don, when we tell your jokes, I always end it by that's a Don Gavin joke.
Yeah.
He goes, no, you don't have to do that anymore. I go, I mean, is there some
No, you
protocol?
should, yeah.
That's what I figure.
Well,
Yeah, you can't be taken. In this situation you should, but in public, don't.
Right,
No,
okay.
I
No,
don't.
All right.
so
What's mine is
whenever
yours.
I imitate Christine Hurley, which I do, I have to say I do
Right.
a really
All
good
the time.
job. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it all the time, but I
Yeah.
just typically do it around
You
among
imitate
friends.
so much you don't do much work around the office anymore. Look at Chrissy, even she rolled her eyes on
We'll-
that.
we'll have to-
You're taking your life in your own hands with that one.
No, he
All right.
knows. We'll have to tag Christine Hurley in this
Yeah, so we'll have to.
podcast. But
yeah.
what was I saying?
some favorite line that Christine Hurley?
Oh,
you
I'm not
do,
going to
Christine.
say them, but I always give Christine her
Yeah.
due.
All
Sometimes
right.
we steal Lenny Clark's lines, but I don't give it to him.
All right, we'll give one Don Gavin line and we'll move on because
All right.
we have one of the best comedians in the world
Right,
here.
we don't need other comedians.
Right. So the bank calls up, says, we haven't got your last mortgage. I'll let you two fill in. We've done that line. So
No, it is, I don't know that
I think you have.
I forgot that one.
how do you forget that one? I think we should put that on our card.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
Nah, no one funnier than Gavin.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Yeah.
We did a golf tournament once. And we do it regularly, and we get paired up with
Right.
3 people
Yeah.
or a foursome, and then you get a celebrity, you get a comedian, whatever. And Gav did not like the people he was golfing with. They were just not his cup of tea.
I would never think he'd say something on his mind.
Yeah. Well, so
I'm kidding.
As they're taking the turn in a hole away from the clubhouse, Gav goes, "Well, I gotta go." They go, "What?" He go, "Yeah, I gotta catch a plane." And so he walks off the course. Some hour later, as they're near the clubhouse again, the people come in to get refreshments. There's Gav
Gavin's there?
sitting there,
Oh, yeah.
and they go, "I thought you had to catch a plane." He goes, "Yeah, not today."
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
God. That's good. That's
None
good.
better.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, but the one, yes, I think you have got my last mortgage payment. Should we talk at all today about,
Yeah.
or do you want
I'm
to just,
still laughing.
about which one?
I think you have.
I think you have.
He does it perfect.
Oh, boy.
I know,
right.
I know when Kevin Knox passed away.
Yeah.
Greatest guy in the world.
Yeah,
Wasn't
Knox,
he
he
a
was
great
the
guy?
best, yeah.
He was the best.
He
So.
was one of my faves.
He was one of the faves.
Yeah.
So we go to the wake, and all these comedians. It's not good to go to a wake with all the comedians
No.
there.
It's
They're-
not good to go anywhere with all the
No,
comedians.
they're dividing up Kevin's jokes.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Can I take this one?
Can I
Can I
want
take this
this
one?
one? Yeah.
My favorite was the pumpkin patch.
Oh man, can you do that one? Did you get rights to that one?
No, I wish I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Not that one. Go farther.
What else would I be doing on August
Sunday
in
During
fall.
football
fall.
season.
Oh God! All right, too much.
Time to paint the house.
Oh, let's not tell that punchline. Maybe we'll let everyone else fill in the punchlines.
Yeah, that might trigger some people.
So I know
I know they triggered every real estate broker in Reading.
Oh, the first time I met Kevin.
They literally, their eyes were bugging out of their heads.
Oh, it had to be. I can't say maybe 30 years ago. Mike says, "Well, maybe I'll get Lenny Clark to do your event at whatever it was."
The
I think
Meadowbrook.
it was Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
And Mike calls up, says, "Lenny can't do it. I'll get this other guy for you." I go, "That's fine." And I didn't know Kevin Knox. And Kevin Knox comes in.
He was
Remember the big hair, the big
right.
flowing hair?
Oh, yeah.
Raunchy.
He hung on to the mullet for as
Yeah.
long as I can remember. Yeah.
He comes in, and it was almost like, I don't know.
Those brokers were like, "Who is this?"
Oh, yeah, they're like, yeah.
No, he could make your mouth open.
They were all open. It was hysterical.
All right, so we're counting down a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Do you have your material ready
It's
for Fenway Park?
It's getting there. It's
Okay.
it's coming into view. It's the way I work it. I get an idea and it starts this big.
Oh,
Can
we
you
better-
leave? Leave out the honey ham?
First of
There's
all,
no honey.
we preface it. Tony V, Fenway Park, August 21st.
Catalar
Opening
office
for Bill Burr.
Opening for Bill Burr.
at Fenway Park.
Yes.
And Catalar office was lucky enough to get some tickets
Yep.
To support our.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Our friend
interrupted.
Tony.
So
Yeah.
what's your strategy?
So when I start, I come up with the shell of what I want to do.
Yep.
And then I work it until it gets smaller and smaller, and just the funny's there and not everything I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And so say I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here
You gotta
now.
reel it in?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm about here now, and then by the time I get to Fenway, it'll be
Yeah.
So can I ask you a
Yeah.
question? Do you like try it out with your buds? Like your
No, I would never.
Oh, 'cause
I would
they would
never
steal it?
illegally showcase. No, that's called illegal showcasing.
Is it?
What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Like you don't want to do your bits in front of your comedian friends unless you say these are bits I'm working
But
on.
do you ever
But I
try-
have friends. Yeah, like I have.
Did you ever
people I
tell
trust.
Frank Santarelli that? He tries his bits out at
Oh,
wakes.
you can't.
You know that.
Yeah, you can't.
I remember
listen
one
to
day you
anything he
yelled
says.
at him and said, Frank Santarelli's doing his bit right now,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Right.
doing his act. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on, you must have some.
Yeah, I have some
friends,
confidants.
Okay,
you
that
know,
you can.
Jimmy Dunn, I trust. Very,
He's not going to
very
steal your
much.
stuff.
No, not at all.
Do you
No.
trust us at all? As soon as
I
we
do.
turn
I-
these mics
I-
off?
Yes.
All right.
I,
all right.
you know,
all
there's
right.
So
very
you do
few
have a
people
couple
I
people
trust.
that you've already started.
Yeah,
to-
and then you know Jimmy and I do a podcast together called Two Boston Guys
Yeah.
With a Cup of Pie, and I'll often break stuff there, and then he'll help me.
That's
Okay.
your second
hone
favorite podcast out
It's
there.
my second favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
This is of course the
This
best.
is-
he might be lying.
No,
but
no.
We didn't ask him what the
no,
first was.
This is good. No, this is perfect.
So,
no, it's my favorite part of the week.
It is,
Seeing
I
Rick
know.
Carter
That's
and
good.
Tony V.
I
Sometimes
know.
have a
We
guest,
miss you at work. You know, she
I
still
know.
works with us full time.
Yeah, remotely.
Yeah, remotely. Yeah.
It's not that she's.
Oh, look at she's doing it
It's not
again.
that
Am I
she's
right?
doing it on the computer. She's just
Right,
remote. She's a remote
Doesn't even have a
person.
computer.
No, she's just a remote person. It's
you,
hard to
Tony.
get close to Kat.
Yes, very remote. Yep. No, it's been a wonderful summer, as you can tell by
she's
all
on-
of our teams.
Tans,
She's
yeah,
on
sure.
some island, right?
Yeah, sure.
No,
No?
Too
No?
far.
No. Too much work. All right, should we talk a little content today?
let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, last week we had, a lot of calls on that last show we got about the buyers,
I know.
helping them
It
out.
was chock full of info.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been any better.
Yeah,
So
that was awesome.
I thought we'd do the same thing with sellers this
Let's
week.
do it.
What do you think
Oh,
about
that's
that?
the other side.
How to prep a seller.
Sell it, yeah.
All right, so give us the basics. What a seller would need to bring to a closing.
Get your shit and get out.
We're going to get to that.
How's the eardrum?
Okay.
You know, I don't consider it a good show unless Chrissy's ears are bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, one or both of them. Either one is
If I get a double.
Get one-
if I get a
double, you're hitting home runs.
Look at her face.
If I get a double, I just walk off the set. My job is
Drop the
done.
mic and
Boom.
leave, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's fine. I'm going to sue him and then I can afford a ticket to his show.
I'm going to find a spot for you, Chrissy. All right.
Did you tell our audience Chrissy's ploy to get us
Oh,
to...
I don't know if it's a ploy, and we'll keep
Well,
it.
it seemed like...
I'll figure it out, Chrissy.
we'll figure.
honey.
All right, give me
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
I know. 5 or 6 things you got to bring. The basic things you got to bring to a closing.
Well,
If you were representing...
If you're the seller.
Right. Do you want me to do it? I can do it.
no.
You've
I
done
think
it
I
for
can
30
do it.
years.
think
I
can
know.
do this. But sometimes it's the broker's responsibility.
Collectively, what is a seller supposed to bring to a closing?
They need a valid smoke certificate. It's called a certificate of compliance from the town or the
So
city.
it would be valid. How many days?
60 days.
Okay.
Right?
Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
been out of this for a while.
Yeah.
Tony knows. You know what?
60
You know what? You know what? Let me come over here. Tony, what do you?
So listen.
All right, go ahead.
So
We're gonna give you
what
one
that
more shot at
entails,
this.
what that entails is you have to call the fire department. They have to schedule an appointment to come in, make sure all your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide.
And let me
detectors.
interrupt too, because usually I'm saying what and you.
Yeah.
You should probably do that early because we've seen instances where.
Can you let me finish? I was going
Sure.
to say it's
So,
not like you can
all right,
call the
we got
day before the
conversation.
closing.
No, you have to schedule it.
Right.
Yeah, the fire
Right.
department's busy. They have to go to fires and whatnot.
I know.
Yeah.
But the other thing is
You ever see them
sometimes
go to get a smoke detector? They bring the big rig with them.
Oh,
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
knows they're there.
Yeah. Okay,
You guys
you're up.
done?
Yeah.
No, not really.
the problem, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but some towns or cities do it every Tuesday. So if you're closing next Friday, you better get in there. You'll get
Yeah.
your appointment.
Right.
The other problem I see is that the smoke detectors aren't actually working. They don't work, and they're not going to get their smoke certificate. So then you have to hire an electrician, get all new smoke detectors, get it all working, and then have the fire department come back
Come
out.
back,
So,
right. So that can hold things up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we,
Exactly.
by law, cannot close without it. So don't ask us to, right?
Right. Yeah.
The other thing that you're going to need to do is get a
I know a guy who can get you one.
right. So just call Tony.
Just call me.
Yeah.
He'll sign off on anything.
And related to what you're saying, sometimes the fire department says some bad things about the house, which derails it. We had that one that supposedly was a 5-bedroom.
Oh, so this is so they weren't able to. They didn't do their homework. They didn't get what they needed on time. They said, "Can you please close it and hold it in escrow?" And we're like, "We can't." And they're like, "We're going to have it on Friday," and they wanted to close on Thursday. But we didn't do it because it's against the law. But on Friday, the fire department went in and decided it wasn't a 5-bedroom house, but it was a 3-bedroom house. And they actually had to physically block off these rooms, like sheetrock these rooms. They weren't valid rooms.
So imagine if you were that buyer, said, all right, we're supposed to close Thursday. We just went from a 5-bedroom to a 3-bedroom.
Because you know what it did?
Because the buyer thinks they're buying a 5-bedroom.
Exactly.
But it wildly changed the purchase price
I'll bet.
by $100,000 or
Yeah,
something
you just
like
lost
that.
2 bedrooms.
Right.
So-
Where do those bedrooms go?
I don't know what the problem was.
Yeah. Well, you
think
got to
they-
sheetrock them so they don't exist?
Yeah.
Like they're just a block?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard
Yeah,
in my
it
life.
was.
So what
it was,
the buyer was going to probably have to do after the fact
Go in and
is-
unsheetrock them.
Right.
Yeah. Probably have to call.
You're no fool.
No, she'd probably have to go to the city and
Get
pull a
variance.
building
A permit.
to figure out what was wrong with. I don't know what they figured out if the wiring was. I don't know what the problem was, but anyway, so no, we cannot close without it. Don't ask. Some lenders will not they ask for it as a
Right.
closing
So
condition.
the whole thing could go belly up.
Revere is brutal because they go in because there's a lot of in-laws that aren't legal in-laws.
And they rip out the. They make
They tell them rip out all that kitchen area
Rip out the oven.
which I still have issues with. But
Right.
I don't know why
Right.
you can't have 2 sets of kitchens.
Why
in your
you
house.
can't have 2
Right,
kids?
right.
Well, if you don't
Maybe
have
you're
the
a big eater.
permit for if it's
Oh,
not.
what if it's permanent? I don't know why you can't have 2 kitchens.
Well, sometimes we've run into the problem where one part of the town thinks it's permitted correctly, and the other
Right.
part of the town
Oh,
doesn't.
Depends on who you ask, right?
Well, right. So, in other words, so if you have a septic system, private sewer, you better have your Title V. You better, and
Okay.
that's a big process.
Yeah.
Because
So-
you have to call the health department in the town,
All right, so explain that a little bit. So a lot of people have town water, town sewer,
and then you'd have to get a final water
which is a
reading.
lot easier. But if you have a private septic system, you have to get something with the Board of Health at the local.
Right.
Again,
That
it's
says
a-
you're
it's
not
a-
full of it.
Right.
Excuse me, it's a state law, and it says that it either has failed,
Yeah.
and then you can't sell it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to have it fixed,
Yeah.
and you're looking at a big price point, like
Yeah.
$40,000,
Right.
$50,000 to have it fixed.
And what would make it not pass? It was too full or
No,
leaching or...
No, probably
One,
not
when
too
I got
full.
Lily, the system was too. It was fine when they originally put it in
Yeah.
25 years ago. We won't.
Outdated.
It was outdated, and they had to raise it up and derailed the closing.
Do you think life was easier when we just lived in caves?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Build
Yeah.
a fire and go about your business?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
go
yeah.
Do
kill
some drawings?
Yeah, go kill a bear for dinner.
Club a woman, drag her back to the cage.
Drag her by her hair.
Trigger.
Trigger.
We do
Trigger
not
light.
condone clubbing
That's-
women and dragging them back to cages.
By her hair.
Yes, it's just an old joke from...
That's not woke. So anyway, that is a big process. That is something that you should actually think about before you even put your house on the market, right?
Correct.
Is that a
Sure.
good piece of advice?
Yes.
Okay. So because
Because mathematically,
you're not going to have a 30-day closing if you're looking for
Plus-
Title V.
you seem to lose that money. So if you go in there and say, listen, I'm going to try to I'll get my Title V. You sell your house for $1 million, right? But it's contingent on getting that Title V. It fails.
Right.
You got to put in a $30,000 system,
Jeez.
and then you still can only sell it for the $1 million. So our thinking
Now
is,
you're down 30
right,
grand.
why don't you do it before you list the house,
And then
and
set-
then you
and
can
add
say,
Add that to the price.
right, say, listen, I'm
Brand new.
brand new.
I have
You're
a
buying
past
Nothing in
Title
there.
V,
Yeah.
which is a good
Right,
security.
right, brand new. I mean,
Right.
talk about
Now,
it.
what's the typical closing window? 90 days?
No.
60 days.
I'm seeing 30 days.
30 days.
People are good at their jobs.
Okay. And with all of this stuff you're talking about, is it doable within 30 days if you do it right? Or should you
If they
start,
listen to us,
If you listen to...
So the
And you're
smoke-
about to say it right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. If
Or
you
should you start
exactly
before?
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
that's
so
what
the
we're-
smoke detector,
Yes.
the minute the house goes on the market, you better make your
Right.
your real estate agent usually
Tells you that.
But if you
But you're right.
But if
you should do all
arm-
that first. Have it
And
all prepped.
then-
Be proactive about it.
Right.
Because once you're reactive about it, you're losing money. You're losing time. You're getting
Right, you're under the
getting
gun,
aggravated.
right.
Yeah, we won't even talk about closing. We just had on Friday.
Whoa.
That was horrible. But you're right. You hit it right on the head. Do the stuff first, and then you don't lose all this time.
The
money.
other thing that I see with sellers is they're not available. Like, they've left the state. If you're leaving the state, you better have an attorney and you better have sat down with that attorney and signed paperwork, because once you leave the state, you're like, I can't be there. I'm in Missouri. Well,
Right.
I didn't know you were going to Missouri, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it could hold up a closing, and
Sure.
it's so convoluted. So, if you guys are selling your house by owner or with a real estate agent, you should really have a seller attorney represent you.
Do attorneys ever represent buyers and sellers, or are those
Not together.
Not together? You
Not the
can't.
same-
That's
right.
that's a conflict
Yeah.
of interest.
Yeah. You can represent a lender and a buyer.
Okay.
But
Because
not
they have the same interest.
right.
The same
But not a
interest.
seller
You
and a
can't-
lender,
you-
and not a seller.
You can't.
and Right.
You can't represent someone with conflicting
Right.
interests.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And the other thing is like,
It's the same in the criminal world too. By the
right.
way.
Go ahead. Elaborate.
You can't have a criminal lawyer defending you.
You're right.
And defending,
And defending
the
the
plaintiff,
plaintiff,
right,
yeah.
right.
Doesn't work out that way.
You know what, Tony?
Don't ask me why I know that. You don't want to know why I know that. Nobody needs to know why. I don't even know why I brought it up.
It's like that.
You're just showing up.
Yeah,
It's like that place you go to.
Sorry.
We've talked about. I forgot the situation there, but you go to the one window and you're asking for some advice, right?
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Oh, I don't deal with that. You got to go to the next window."
Yeah. And then it's the same guy.
The same
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And he opens the
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
Can I help you?
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't I just explain it to you?
I did that once getting a sandwich in New Hampshire.
Okay.
I went to get a sandwich. It was a window situation. And I got a sandwich and some fries or whatever. And I'm the only one there.
yeah.
I am the only one there.
Oh, yeah.
They give me a number, like 137. There's not a soul around, right?
137.
Right. So I ordered the stuff, and the window closes, and I'm still no one around. All of a sudden, 3 feet away, another window's open. 137, 137, and I'm going. You're kidding me, right?
Oh my God.
I did the same thing. I went to Verizon.
Yeah.
So end of the day, I
were
gotta-
you physically removed by the police?
I got to get my phone done, and I guess it takes a little bit of Anyway, I said, can I have, there's no one in the whole place.
Right.
No one in the whole place. I said, I got to get my phone, whatever I needed. They go, okay, you got to put your name on this list.
Oh yeah.
There's like a sign-in sheet.
Oh, yeah.
No one in there.
Yeah.
And the person, I think one person died, and the other person comes out. Is there a Rick here? Is there a Rick here?
No, there isn't.
No. No.
You got to be kidding me.
Try going to the Apple store someday.
Oh,
Have you ever gone into the
oh,
spaceship?
yeah.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness gracious!
yeah, you gotta sign
You
in
gotta sign
first.
in. Then they give you somebody with a iPad, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
then you gotta go wait over there.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy comes out and says they're gonna get the guy that's gonna
Oh,
do
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. All right, so we got the basic steps done, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So I have one more piece of
no.
advice.
Go ahead.
If there are 3 owners on the property, right? Me and my brother and sister are selling
Okay.
a piece of property. You got to make sure they're all available. They all have to sign the purchase and sale agreement. They all have to either go to the closing or get an attorney to go to the closing for them. And that's kind of, someone says,
And-
well, why can't I sign for my brother? I'm just going to sign his name.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't do
No,
that. That's
that's illegal.
forgery.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so in other words,
Unless you have a friend.
Oh
yeah.
Related to that,
Yeah.
if husband, I always get this, husband owns the property, is now married, that wife has to sign off her homestead
Absolutely.
rights.
They don't
I always get
understand that.
I don't own the property. I don't know. Why do I have
no,
to
they
show
have
that?
automatic, Massachusetts has automatic homestead rights. So in other words, you can't be displaced from your property. You cannot,
Right.
not, they can't kick you out of the house for a gambling debt or a lien on the property. But so in order for your husband to sell, you have to sign off your homestead rights, saying that I will relinquish any homestead rights to this property.
I see.
Another thing, state tax stamps.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had to pay that.
I know. So the worst is when you're selling in Massachusetts,
And buying in
New Hampshire.
Whack, whack.
We're whacked a couple times. In Mass, if you sell your house
Yeah.
say you sell your house at your make me an offer,
Right.
make me move offer,
Right.
at $2 million.
Okay.
$4.56 per thousand.
That's a lot of money.
lot of money.
Absolutely.
I don't know how
is.
much it is. 'cause
I don't
I'm not
either.
good at math,
I
but
know.
that's
I don't have my
a
calculator.
ton of money.
About $9,000-$10,000.
Yeah.
So then if you go into New Hampshire's a little different. They charge you if you're buying. So if you're buying a house in New Hampshire,
Right.
it's $15 per thousand.
Divided by 2.
Split between buyer and seller.
So that's $7.50
So
per
if you're buying a
thousand.
$2 million house up there, that's about $30,000.
So you're paying almost $40,000
yeah.
in
Yeah.
excise
Excise.
deeds. Yeah,
Jeez.
required.
Right. So,
And should you figure that in?
Yes. No, that's a great-
in
yes.
the selling price?
well,
No, you can't do
but
that.
you
But
should figure it
it-
because we had a lot of people do this. Well, I'm netting out this amount of my Massachusetts house, so I'll have enough, but they don't take that stuff into consideration.
So you
So
gotta
you
take
really got to
that.
sit down with
Right.
a real good real estate
Oh,
attorney.
just
to
not-
figure-
Real good.
I
Real
just
good.
Not moved to New Hampshire. I don't know why anyone would do that. Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to have a problem because I've always
I lived in New
owned.
Hampshire.
Yeah, so
All right. So now let's talk about the ones, and we'll go through these quickly because they're kind of the more involved situations with sellers. How's that? We'll move.
right.
We'll move.
So the
through
key
quick.
is communication. The key is say what you want, say what you need to have go into your purchase and sale agreement, buyers and sellers. You got to make sure your attorney knows your desires, knows what's staying in the property, knows what's not staying in the property.
Yeah, just like sex.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah.
Know what you want. Have a good lawyer.
Take what you want. Up, is that another trigger?
Trigger.
Oh boy. Oh
Make
boy.
sure they know your desires.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
No.
Of course not.
And bring your lawyer.
And bring a lawyer.
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
And you're all set. All right, real quickly. 'cause
I'd like to engage in sex with you. This is my lawyer.
He would like you too.
He would like you to sign a few things. All right, so we'll do this really quickly there because we've actually hit some of them there. About 10 scenarios with sellers. We did the basic stuff, what you need, and we'll fly through these quickly. These are the 10 areas that we see might slow down or derail a closing.
And these are the reasons you need an attorney.
Exactly. So go ahead. You want to start with it? We've already done that one. If you have anything with private septic system, that's number one.
Yeah. Get your Title V.
Get your very impressive.
He's paying attention.
If you have an estate situation,
Yeah.
so the owners have passed away.
See ya.
Yeah. So here's a little quick checklist to see if it's going to be problematic or not.
Yeah.
Is the decedent's estate over $1 million? All right.
If it's yes, you have to file.
Yeah, you got to get
federal- you have to-
releases.
yeah.
Yep.
Does having a house in trust in this situation help or hurt anything, or does
no.
it matter?
Well, but it brings up other things that
other
you need
issues.
to
Right.
discuss.
No, it's
Okay.
a good question because
Yeah.
you can't deed your house into a trust, and then if you pass away, there's
Right.
still going to be looking.
There's
at
going to be a
certain
look
things.
back.
I
Yeah.
see.
All right.
Is that how long's the look back?
Well,
5 years?
10 years
10 years.
for that situation.
Right.
So anyone who's passed away within during that 10-year period
Yeah.
is going to have to get an estate tax release.
Right.
All right.
That's
so
a lot can happen in 10
know,
years.
I
do
know.
the heirs at law consent to the deal? So if they're arguing, that's going to slow things down.
Right.
Does the decedent have a will? That's
always
going to
have
slow
a
it down.
will.
Without a will is very problematic.
Yeah.
And
'cause
in
then it
the
has to go
will,
into
this is very
probate.
key too. Do you have a power to sell in the will? So if you have, you know what attorneys used to do before my time?
Yeah.
Because it's a big difference if you have a will with the power to sell and then a will with no power to sell. So in other words, in the will, it gives your estate the ability to sell
Sell
that
that
property,
property.
Right.
without going to the court or anything like that.
Right.
When you see that, it's magic. What attorneys used to do is leave that out. So you'd have to go back to that attorney again
And get it done.
and get it done.
That seems a little not
Self-serving.
Yes.
Wait a
exactly.
second, attorney do something shady? I'm not buying it.
That's very unusual. All right, so we've already talked about that. If there's a spouse that lives in the property, divorce situations are always tough. Even if the person has already gotten divorced and everything's settled, that might be problematic because in the separation agreement, it might say husband still has to get X amount of dollars or whatever.
Right. So you
All
have
right?
to make sure you can give us the separation agreement and prove that it's final.
Exactly.
Civilization is so complicated.
I know it is. Again, back to the caves.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, in all this stuff, we've talked about this tangentially in other situations, but all this stuff happened because people try to scam you all the time.
Exactly right.
You
Exactly
know what I
right.
mean? That like, there's no. If there was complete honesty in these situations, you just go, well, we did this, but now it's always someone trying to one up somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can just stay in the cave, Tony, and
I-
I'll just
I
move
would
to
be
another
happy.
cave. Yeah.
I'd
I'm going
be
to take my
happy.
beer rug.
Yes.
And you can just stay in the cave.
You know what a scam's
Yeah.
going on at the Boston Garden area?
What?
They have a guy sitting out front pretending he's taking money for the parking
Oh,
garage.
my God.
Takes the money and runs.
Oh, like he stands at the entrance
Yeah,
to the
and
parking
it looks like he looks
garage.
official looking. He's
Right,
got,
right.
But
you know,
they usually wear red, don't they?
he could have red on. Doesn't mean you're able to take the people's money.
Yeah, no.
I know, but don't they have the name of the garage on there?
Yes, there's probably things.
There's probably you can do that look close to that.
Like the time I worked at Yankee Stadium.
Right.
Story for another time.
Right.
All right. So we went through that one. We're actually moving
Chop,
through these.
chop.
Smoke detectors we talked about.
If you're selling a condominium, you
Yeah.
better make sure
The
that.
minutes.
Well, no, that's when
Yeah.
you're buying.
No, that's
but
good, though.
They're going to be looking. The seller
Right.
should be able to provide the minutes and the budget
Right, 'cause
and all that stuff.
That's where all the dirt is.
And the seller also needs to produce what they call a 6D certificate, which shows that there are no outstanding condominium liens or the condo fees
or assessments,
or
yeah.
assessments on the property, and we cannot close without one of those.
Right.
So that's another thing
And
that.
some condominiums have rights of first refusal.
Yes, they do.
They can decide if you're worthy enough to.
No, they can buy it back from you.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
we have to get a waiver of right
Right.
of first refusal, meaning that they don't want to buy it.
Right, right.
Wow, we've learned a lot today.
I'm exhausted.
I know, I'm exhausted too.
That was a
Oh,
lot.
and the other big thing, and we're going to end on this one, and I don't know if I've ever said this to anyone before. This might be a first.
Uh-oh. Newsflash. Do we need a trigger warning?
Is there any type of, do we have any news flash or anything like that? 'Cause
You have like a
this
emoji
is-
that goes like this.
No one has ever said this before. Perfect.
That's great. Good.
Dun,
That
dun,
is
dun, dun,
pretty
dun,
good.
dun, dun,
That's
dun.
good.
You need to do a title search on your property.
God.
What do you mean? I'm telling you, I've said it for 30 years. No
I know,
one
and everyone
listens.
says that is an amazing idea, and then
I
no one
know.
ever does it.
That's why Rick Carter's a
A
genius.
genius. Right.
Yeah, and that's
That-
why I surround myself with geniuses.
Of course.
Someone
Yep.
told me I was a genius for that idea, and the second reason they told me I was a genius, do you know why?
That you hired me.
Close.
Me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got Tony V on a real estate. They know you could come on. That's not crazy. You
I'm
got
so-
Tony V on a real estate podcast.
I'm so
That's
defeated.
no.
Kath.
Explain it.
It's
It's
explain
the
this.
third
Yes.
best thing you've ever done.
Right. Yes. It's because I have to break through my nitwit persona to actually get this stuff that I know. You just know stuff.
No, I don't.
You know the stuff.
I get extra credit because they go, that guy's an idiot. Wait,
Oh,
did he
no,
say something
he
semi-intelligent?
knows something about FICO scores.
Wow.
He knows what a FICO score is.
Yeah, I get extra points for that.
So
It's,
genius.
again, it's
Yeah.
the dimples
It's the dimples.
Yeah, and the blue shirt
and the blue
They
shirt.
really make your eyes pop.
with the sparkling eyes.
Really
course
make
they
it.
do.
Thanks for joining us here on Real Estate House Party with Kathy Holtshouser, paralegal extraordinaire.
The smartest thing he ever did.
And the most genius thing I ever did was making the guy with the eyes that pop from his blue shirt, Tony V.
Who's working in my job this week?
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.